When he was diagnosed, they told me to treat his diagnosis like a death, that he would never be who I wanted him to be, and it is like a death. So I remember going to the bathroom in the medical clinic and just crying hysterically, and they just gave me a trifold and said, good luck. So at that moment, I had no idea what to do. And the first time that I walked into an ABA clinic, they showed me that my son could have a life. They said, we don't know what his life is going to look like, but I guarantee you, he will have a life, and he'll be surrounded by people who will constantly see his potential. And so from that moment on, I realized that this was the group, this was the path that I wanted to take with my son, because I never wanted to be around people again that saw my son as being dead. That this diagnosis, yes, it's going to be a journey, but he is a person, and he has feelings, and he has value, and I wanted him to be surrounded by people for the rest of his life that saw his value. And that was my first impression of ABA.
How do I know a good ABA provider when I see one?
Someone who doesn't treat you patronizingly, someone who treats you as a fellow human being, but at the same time knows when to set boundaries, both for themselves and for their client. I consider the ABA therapist who would come to our apartment and undergo the ABA therapy with me to be just like any other friend I had. I think that the overall experience was that they were there to form a connection and a bond with me and not to direct me in any way.
So this is a perfect segue into the question, will a provider get my child? Will they honor what makes him or her unique?
So my son loves Journey, and Don't Stop Believing is his favorite song, and he plays it over and over again. I remember his BCBA at one point running to me after clinic and saying, Journey is coming to Columbia. She goes, we are all getting tickets, and we are going to get him through this concert. So I showed up with my husband, Mark, and Broden, and we had 3 people there from the clinic sitting next to us. And so we took turns when he needed breaks. When I looked over to the right, though, I saw providers crying because they said, how do we get this opportunity that these songs that he's been playing over and over and over again, and he gets to see the band live. They see Broden for what he loves and what he enjoys. So they know he loves music, and they are constantly contacting me and saying, we got to get him out there. We got to get him enjoying it.
I think there are a lot of things I experience in life that I enjoy. And I think a lot of these things were made possible by the fact that ABA therapy was able to really broaden my horizons. They look at what is the potential for me to expand my interests. I think paradoxically, I think the fact that I don't think constantly about ABA therapy, that shows that ABA therapy was successful in sort of unburdening me from a lot of whatever was self-defeating for me in the past.
What do you do now as an adult?
I'm a journalist. I have to report and interview people, but I prefer writing. I sometimes have to call someone for an interview, and I secretly hope they don't pick up. But just like with all the different things that ABA therapy helped me eventually adapt to, if not necessarily enjoy unequivocally, it is something that I'll just have to do as part of the job.
What would you say to parents of young children with autism who are considering ABA for their children?
I would ask them how much their children are enjoying life. I think what ABA therapy does is that it increases the potential in which they could experience all the bounties that life has to offer. And that's not to say that everything is going to be like a universally, positive emotion. I'm not going to sit here and say that my life is perfect. I still have some chips on my shoulder. I don't think I want to live a life where I'm only feeling positive emotion. And I think ABA therapy is something that it opens you up to more social experiences, and so you know more about how other people are living. It adds to a more colored experience of life.
Looking back now, over all the years that Broden has been in ABA, what would you tell your past self about the experience?
I would tell myself that it is a journey. Sometimes we can get so lost in all of the steps the things that we haven't mastered, the things that we still need to do. But I need to stop, be present, and then think of all of the things that he has accomplished, all of the wonderful people that care about him and love him. How many teams have dedicated so much time just to my son? And this is a gift that I never realized I was going to receive when we started on this journey. And it is therapeutic to know that people are walking the path with us. We're building a bridge. We're building the bridge and we're getting across. And so I'm going to if I could tell myself back then, I would say, don't be afraid. It's one step at a time. And it's going to be scary, but we're going to get there.